na emom se wa wutumi bu man ye hwe osika so yi a ehia sanka wo kwa IMF enti Kwame Nkrumah wa nkwa IMF da
ofenyan ka bibi kakra kwanto aso
kasa
Ghana man panimi so baya no person of friend who say ne papa ne Kwame Nkrumah ono so ankwa IMF ono so
Aki champion
generally champion
operation video yourself
very good oba no who say doctor
we dey open imagine one na yenkotwa ye ho kakra na ye ba abeka abrantia na odi operation feed yourself e ba no general na okasa e ma ebi koto mic we bi mu say sabe eduane ni Ghana enjoy ye say den na mo kasa eduane ni Ghana ensuo nto Ghana adam ye nyame ye ba ye betie ho nso
My heart is heavy as I witness the damage which this clique of neo-colonialist conspirators are doing to our country. At the bidding of their overseas neo-colonialist masters, they are dismantling the work of 15 years. They are telling you that Ghana is bankrupt. They are telling you that our country is in debt to the extent of some 240 million pounds. What fools they are. How ignorant for them to think that we believe these stupid lies. Open your eyes and look around you. See for yourselves. See the splendid new Tama Harbor. See the mighty water dam. See the fine roads which we have built under the leadership of the Convention People's Party and its government. See the schools, the colleges, and the universities. See the clinics, hospitals, health centers, and the facilities which we have created. See the factories which are already springing up. These are no debts. These are not debts. They are investments in our future as an independent nation. These are the physical guarantees of the bright new future which I have promised you and I have been working for. Together, we can put our Ghana firmly and squarely on its own feet. Together, we can create the things we need for ourselves instead of going cap in hand for charity handouts from foreign powers whose only wish is to exploit us and make us vassals to their interests. I know these are hard and trying days for you. I have never tried to conceal from you that real independence, that is to say economic independence, does not come without hard struggle and sacrifice. Unlike the cheats and deceivers, the liars and traitors who are now trying to lord it over you, I have never promised you any easy road.
Never been say you're from when you're the bonnet. Ghana memo ye buye ne ye pe controlling centrene treasure Ghana manu and pesa money. Kofi babone me boko ko jani bonnet. The man something but penetra Ghana man say muntie mini obra for me wo fa hodie. Mama modi momu jumadi mu nkonimdie. Nu say ngara assassini e ya body de mayen. Mujana nanan me hwegu nyade to ho mayen. Dom yen buayen jeyen adu. Me ne wo so say yen hwe be ye biato aso mu aso kata so o mayi mudi e maso ene. E bi said why your mama Ghana will be a lawyer for, doctor for my Miss Nancy for, ready for, driver for my Miss Fita for, Equa for, tailor for my Miss Baba for, soldier for, teacher for my Miss Suku for, rap for, Ghana rap soft for me, say Miss Red Oman for, when I'm on your back, you say yet the fact, but you always say you back one who can boom more embu, crab as Santa Cotopo, map beba is the motto, young fan got to lotto, when you move franny, yes, in Munyanto was in a home Brazil, good in Indian Amon Coto, Bible just said you wait and it wouldn't, so worry was I say so in Timonia bread. Ghana yemi no dear, she come from money. Kadian Kwame and Sam Yao, Osoni as I say ya and Sam Yao, and I know most of my for and Sam Yao, ye Kwame come up by ye. Kadian Kwame and Sam Yao, Osoni as I say ya and Sam Yao, and I know most of my for and Sam Yao, ye Kwame come up by ye. Wait, that time.
Nti ya say obi e pa be diga na man so a Kwame Nkrumah ho asempaka nanso wo hwe yabakwasem yamamre ne yamane a ayese general Ike Champon on the sheda eyi nanim say ono de odon Nkrumah pa na sebe onya kranko pese osande Kwame Nkrumah ebedi oman no so eno no e de ne bai
Pacho what the ne kakra yenim no ene se obaye no in fact nipa bebre nim sa ekuo no de ba ye frɛ no National Redemption Council no redemption na wo mfimfini ho no egina ho ma Nkrumah ni din no eye redeemer Osagyefo na oye ku ni wie anka so de ne ba eno soma Kwame Nkrumah ne bepani Dr. Francis Nkrumah sa onkohwe ne papa ne condition cause what is yes papa ne yare obaye na obeka nse enche bia obewu eno na ama champion handi over ama obia na fe one more Nkrumah din kura na mom se na yedi kan aka no IMF no na ye champion achiwade nti won eka buzia akobo eda ho nyina esenke champion tua no o se ye ntua na ye ntua de abroni emma osika biem emma wo fa anwen ho nti emma champion the policy be by friend operation feed yourself wara ye wano aduane nti Ghana fo tumi dua aduane ama ne ye hia broni sika nti eduru baabi no na brofo no enan ne wonsa gu fo ma pa champion che wo se o magi sika efi se na African countries ni bi ehua champion tinacha se de bia bibini wutumi ma wo ho so no na nka se broni kofom eno ne ade a wo mu aka no enim
nti na che se abrofo no se yekọ na yekoto ebro yekoto emu wo mu na ya ye nnua nnuane a esa de yekọ nkoasum na eno nso no mo pe
eno esan se efi se eboa ma wo de enyiresi aburochire sika pound na dollar na euro ena ebekọ akoto ne atosu bi enam se onu edua ne ho ne de bia wo to no eche se aboa ma adwuma aba wono ne memu na wonso wo de no se ye emu a enam se buroche de wo de aba bebre no na ne ye dua ne ha no wa beku no se ye nkokọ na wo kra ede ba ya potting farm se wo Ghana no wa ba begu no nti broni de anka ne yemu anka de bia ono no de ne na wo beto na aboa ma wo kuro mu ha no adwuma bia ne ha wo sika eni ha sika bia wo benya bia no wo de kwakra no ma aba
na eche se aban anhyehyɛ mrapa no ma anhyehyɛ kwampa ne ye frɛ no policies a de bia no oman ne bre
enti na President Nkrumah wo ho no obi e factory si bebre aga na ni bia enim se obeka sugar factory bebi e yes sichire
shoe factory
glass factory tie bonsa tie match factory bibia
akasa no ma ye TV ye radio
ye no ya no te se ade bia nipa dwene ho se se ye krafiri obi man so no ne ye bi e wa ha nti e ba ne sa no na akoye bibi se ye ho ye kwasi broni ehi na Nkrumah so di kan ka say the black man is capable of managing his own affairs eno na o kire wono ne ya ne say omo edi na chi baaye ne edi kan omo ntimi ambe bi ansoso na ne etoso mienu either say factories no sisi e jai man say
ana omo aton fai
ton to say Ghana Telecom kane na kanya Ghana ya Vodafone for di ya dia Ghana Telecom bibia anka Nkrumah ye no ya toma obrani de sikaki tuwa bi na beto ya aye won ejapade
na no nso no se ye beton ye japade a na efiri empenyimfo ayeyi won se wo mo ye asoafo won ayeyi won se asoafo se wo mo behwe japade a ye nananom ejama ayen no wo mo an Nkrumah ye kanana esa ton ma wo ebi kura ton bi ma wo mo ho
bebre eton bi ma wo ho a ye ka se ye ka ho asema adaje ebebo ye na ne ehia pa no ene se no ma wo mu be di ade anka akan memu no ye ka se ni anana beba betu bia no wo babo ho ban no wasa pribide aka ho no wo mu di wo mu ba bese no na ma sese yakọ achichichichiri na no so nti na ma da bia ye bekoso akai Kwame Nkrumah si etumi be ye no ma esene Kwame Nkrumah nka ye nkai ne biem na mo mu di sese da bia ye kai no schools a wo sisi ye no kwan ofa so esisi ye ene na yemu ye ene se wo ye nipa ya do ye boni bebre na ne boni bia oye no oye se bibi man ebekọ nanim
yetumi ye boni bi ma emone ma ye
me pacho bebre
te said ye
na se BSC ya hu se esikafo mienu ena wiase sika nyina ye wondia ena ehiafo empempempem begu ha ne omu bedi ne nekora wo mu nya bi ni na wo fa kwan bi so na wo gi won sika na wo chena ehwe obi a wo emigidi se ne bone no emse
ye bone fa
enya bone wo ya de abo ni pampempem as against the interest of mienu nu a wo mu tirimu den no nti we ye ka bi de asiso a minim se ne ye wo wutirim ne sa preventive detention
meba ho nti eno ne asamba ko bi ana mekankan ya menti ase it's a preventive detention act no ema ebi mu papa mu wo famo ekodede mu a anye bebrede dodo na nso bo se o mu ka se o mu gitum ese ehwa na enye Kwame Nkrumah pe na ye na eche se eye parliament mu a na ye na die na masa preventive detention act na ebai ese mrabia bibi na kofaba
medasi ne atia ne se Kwame Nkrumah no emu no wo hwa na bakosem a se na edi kankan wo fra America na ebai Americans so your mind wo so akwanko aso mu pen ewo enyiresifuo ensem ana omu a ono wo babeto ya no mo perepere ekonwa ni nyina no eye wo mu a yetete wo mu wo enyiresi aburuchire eye JB dankwamo nti wo mu de no abrofo no e wo ha ni bi ya won classmates ni juniors wo school sankase wo university Nkrumah de no ni classmate bia nti na enyiresi abrofo no e wo ha no empesa nka fa hudie ni ade be hye Kwame Nkrumah ensem aka afeme ya to aba no 1951 election ye sheda de Kwame Nkrumah tum afe baako sane ye be ya enke ye beto aba no agya no ena ekokko ba se constitution no a ye di buman na kwan bi da ho se with the prison na wo stand as member of parliament na wo wini de ya wontwa wo mre no wie kura se ye de wo ba eno na man stand Accra Central na ni nua bodema eye campaign ni ma no e ma otumi wini be ye leader of government businesses or some be ye prime minister
Mr. Meji wa no kakra a che se nia ono wo ne fa hodie a o chin etumi ye campaign
anybody
etumi di nkuguo e ma nia ono da sell edi nkunim na che wo ma no mo na mo fa hodie no mo bon
enya ye sani anyame ebo no na obi apenasem no na ye Ghana fo ya se wedem nti samre na Accra Central a na ye odeduo no kamia ye se nka onya 100% nti ebi nsi da ebi so ensida na na mede to aso akoka se e ba ne sa no na no ho da so ye abrofo no ehi nti ne ye na se kwan bia so pese onya o mampani no a ye beku no o mampani ne ye beku no nti parliament se ne wakei parliament na etena se ehihye mbra se se ye de bo mampani ho ban ye de bo pani bia ho ban se wo ye chewo se bia wo koto bomb ana wo kura se kan a ye hwa adwene wo wutirim a che se wunya o mampani ana ne pani bia wo bedi na ewu a yetumi de wo kokotum wa bra ye ndi wasem
na se samra na se na enye dia adenti na ye hye samra na da ben
1958
aden na da Ghana mraso akosi 2015
na no nana ekire se eyade e de bo na chikwa na enya ade a ono na eyeye if you say parliament and eye na parliament nso apart from first republic eguye second republic by third republic nso by and na fourth republic nti pani bi obeba na se wanwunu a ene ade na wuyi Kwame Nkrumah
anti chese wo mu kura mpo a wo mu ye ku ama ebi mu nso be di so no wo mu kura so etwem ene wo mu nya nsensem wo mu nya nsensem wo mu ka
wo mu yi etu Kwame Nkrumah no ene wo mu se de mbra foforo bi kura be ka preventive detention no ho a ye friend protective custody nti wo mu so ye hu anim na ye gidi se wo ye CPP no ana wo do Kwame Nkrumah na ye de wakotum a ye ndi wasem ono na chi no pani bi so ba fa ne Dr. K Buzia ebe yi nkrofo adi wadwuma mu omo ye 568 na dwene ye won se omo do Kwame Nkrumah na omo pen Nkrumah sema na omo ye CPP
wo do o man panyi wi a yesu yi wedi
ne Buzia be ye na Ghana for
man ye di nkwase asem
na papa wei obi a ye fra na UK Sala wanti ase ode ne de court a man pani edi fo no Prime Minister Buzia etu ne ka Ghana Broadcasting Corporation ekoye announcement say fodie no wadi no wanyintum enti court no eye judiciary no so o ma adwene ye won so mbe ye politics ya wo mu ntu won tare ngu no magina platforms no ne won ye politics Buzia na yes
oh no
enu achi ya papa Akufo-Addo a wote akonwa yi so CCA 1993 na branch bi afa ni mensa bonsu ekokko chiro article bi a efa Supreme Court judgment and now 31 December ni June 4 enye se ye dibiem te se holiday and o chiro ho article bi sa na ye se ye book court animtia nti ya chi no tumbo sumo ba ko ye contempt ya papa Akufo Addo samre no no ye Greater Accra Bar Association president or ye can say atuate atuate de Supreme Court no say Ghana lawyer ni bia ni ho SOC court dem for bosome ba ko kwesi mra mensa bonsu beba nti se woti atua man ne court so no bi so ye preventive detention act woni ne mi so ye be na
moyepe na okay nti se si a ye hwe sa preventive detention act ya na yetumi hu se enye Kwame Nkrumah na apɛ na ye na mom parliament nyina na ye na aban bebre nso ba ne chi a wo mu nyina wo mantwem na nti na che wo mu foa na okay nti se si a mehu bebi a wo mu mpɛ na sem wo mu de ka asem no me pɛ sɛ mehwɛ wo mu nso pɛ na sem wo mu ka sɛ Kwame Nkrumah wa ma meko amaga na pɛ na obagu okuma ebibiman nyinara wo a wo fie bibrem bebia wo wiase biara no obekoma o eno so abakwasem ben important yetumi de tai chire
pacha abakwasem a ye de tai chire no e de se Kwame Nkrumah ebedi akonwa no a eno chance ye se oboaboa omo eka French no ene omo ka enyiresi kasa ye English no o man bia so nipa ede wo mo ba Nkrumah ma won tete sane ebe ye wo benya won fa ahudi nti eba bedi Osagyefo ahudie ma ye 1957 afia etoaso no na Guinea oma wonya wonfa ahudie afia etoaso miensa na more than 20 African countries Cote d'Ivoire mu nyina ka ho enya wonfa ahudie etoaso biam na one Selassie kokote Organization of African Unity OAU
and your friend
AU eswate aba AU no sa no mani nyina ayade ana opese bibiman eka edi bomu a ni esa ye den ekoyenim ukọ South Africa there was a time Mandela by so ba behia no ewa ha na Kwame Nkrumah din atahia se wo ben we se ye chi wutum to okoye na nche na ye chi no etumu Kwame Nkrumah hu se ni nua Mandela ewo adwen se enye fa ahudie na ohwehwe no wo South Africa na mom opese apartheid no ebe end na Kwame Nkrumah se dabi yenye fa ahudie na yenso yempam broni ni free asaso no on samira biom eno na Mandela eno no anya adwene ma Kwame Nkrumah te party wo South Africa ye PSC Pan African Congress we use Robert Sobukwe ana MPLA mo wa Angola ene efane se Rhodesia onon Kwame Nkrumah
Rhodesia ebe Zimbabwe
na madam for pan Queen Elizabeth but Nkrumah the first government in Africa wotumi severe relationship with the UK because of Rhodesia se ne omo ya ne ho no enye no san ka ke so omo matuo so entia ye friend say enyiresi aban ne ne omo ya ne ho no enye afa wono so ne obi a wotumi ma abibiman enya ano ewo United Nations kwesi se abra na US United States China din free United can say UN the 5 Security Council members omo veto no ye China din free o mind to say Ghana ye leader Kwame Nkrumah and etumi patch o ye Taiwan din free mu na ye de the fan say China din ebaye o mind to say Ghana ye penny and only Tito of Yugoslavia and the Nasser of Egypt mo and etumi kambo mu na mo ye de omote non-aligned movement na chese samren wo mo adwen ne say ye were Eastern Bloc Soviet Union ne Nkrumah ne the Warsaw Pact and America ne Nkrumah eye NATO and Kwame Nkrumah so te ne de eye non-aligned movement na no ne chese say na nisu ade hunu no wo akiri efi say o kan say sa man mienu we ni anhwe ye ne ya megina wontam oda bia de ntokwa beba
ye kodi ba ko nso echi nso ade sonso ye bi beba yeso
eno na oti sa kuo no samre no na say ye gitumu a wotena ho besi na nka Russia Ukraine war nka entimi emma efi say Russia Ukraine war yi America ne Russia entokwa eno ni ade ana Kwame Nkrumah etia
ye besa ba beto aso na sesi a no me pese ye kohwe ya bakwasem ni bi na ye ba ensamo ye beti afa Kwame Nkrumah ho na edo so dodo opanyi ameni ni di nkomo no ye lawyer historian yaw anochi frempom.
Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra and to this conference of African freedom fighters and supporters of the growing movement for Africa's liberation and unity. It is good for our cause to have a periodic meeting of this kind to examine our position in the great struggle to rid Africa completely and forever of imperialism and its handmaidens, colonialism and neocolonialism. Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth? If I may mix my metaphor, but I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of new colonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, new colonialism, on a continent-wide front. For unity must be the keynote of our actions. Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our very weakness. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. Remember, always, that you have 4 stages to make. First, the attainment of freedom and independence. Secondly, the consolidation of that freedom and independence. Thirdly, the creation of a unity and community between the free African states. Fourth, the economic and social reconstruction of Africa. Our independence is meaningless unless it links up the total liberation of the African continent.
Depends on who you are, or whether he was a villain. Depends on who you are. From my point of view, he was a true leader, and a true leader must always have a vision. And the vision doesn't stop there. After all, we all have visions, but you work towards the actualization of that vision. And that is what the name Nkrumah has come to stand for. When you work for the actualization of that vision, you get people to buy into that vision. It was that vision that he had, and people bought in, that people mobilized, or he was able to mobilize, and people mobilized into independence, in our independence struggle. And not just that, for the rest of Africa and the black world, the African world, all over, and became an icon.
Transcended all times. I mean, to think that even today, You have some of the young ones who never knew him believing in what he did and also adoring what he did. Kwame Nkrumah was a great visionary. He was one with a very indelible legacy. If you see some of the infrastructural projects dotted around the country, you can see that Kwame Nkrumah's footprints is all over the place. He was a visionary. He envisioned into the future. He envisioned that Ghana needed all the policies and interventions that his government, the Convention People's Party, under the Convention People's Party, put in place. Whenever anybody talks about Kwame Nkrumah, they talk about the Preventive Detention Act. And the Preventive Detention Act, as the name stood, was passed by Parliament. It was also there to prevent some form of disturbances at the time. That wasn't good enough for cohesion. That wasn't good enough for the security and peace of the country. So Kwame Nkrumah did that act just to ensure that there was peace. It's like any law that you do in this country to ensure that there is peace in the country. And like any law that is against subjugation, any law that is against destructive tendencies, the people who are perpetrating that kind of act would always say that he was a villain. But Kwame Nkrumah wasn't. Kwame Nkrumah loved Ghana. If there was any leader who was as selfless as Kwame Nkrumah, I do not think that would be where we are today.
Because one beautiful thing he did was the expansion of the Gold Coast Film Unit, which became the Ghana Film Unit. And then he restructured the whole Ghana Film Corporation, Ghana Film Unit, and modernized it. And he built the studios, he built sound recording facilities, he gave a sound recording facility, he put administrative structure. And on the continent of Africa, we're the first nation, African nation, to have a first-class studio. So films were coming from South Africa and Egypt, North Africa, to shoot films here in our studios. Yes. So, and fortunately for us, Nkrumah saw film as a very powerful tool for communication and education. That was why his first priority was to restructure the whole film unit to a film, and he made it a film corporation. And he went to Parliament and got an ally to buy all the cinemas from the Indians and the Lebanese, and annexed all the cinemas to the Ghana Film Corporation as the commercial wing, the commercial and the exhibition wing. And that was why it was called the Ghana Film Industry Corporation. So it was a good idea. So we're producing and showing films at the same time. We're producing and marketing. So as for that one, I always thank God for that good thing he did for us.
Nkrumah had a vision for us. He had a sense of nationhood. He had a sense of unity and pursuit of common purpose for this nation called Ghana. His commitment to it was total. No matter what your criticism of him, you cannot doubt that his commitment to Ghana was total. And this is the same commitment that we are now lacking today. The inability to put Ghana first, our party second, and our personal ambitions third. And I want to implore all Ghanaians as we go into this coming period in 2024, let us focus on putting our nation first. Let us go back to the drawing board, look at our checkered past, and try and undertake those fundamental reforms that will limit our excesses and ensure that we pursue our goals with more vigor and more success. We should try and pursue those reforms that will give us a greater sense of unity of purpose and ensure that there's inclusion. Look at the electoral reforms that we need to make to ensure that we end the divisiveness of a duopoly not by eliminating multi-party politics, but by ensuring that we create room for coalitions that will grow consensus from the outskirts and outlying areas of decision making. Let us also ensure that we begin to put in place the elements of adopting a long-term national development plan so that we can have a cohesive, consistent pursuit of our national goals from one administration to the other without abandoning projects, creating judgment debts, and also diverting the focus of our development in a way that neutralizes our past progress. This is fundamental. Those that we admire have all done this. So why is it so alien? Why should it be so alien to us? We need to think about that again. I think we also need to go back to the drawing board and think about how we form this feeling, this sense of nationhood in the younger generation, and begin to look at how we change the educational curricula and the activities in it to try to build that sense of nationhood in the younger generation so there's less divisiveness and that the pursuit of multi-party politics has limited impact in dividing the nation.
Our independence is meaningless unless it links up the total liberation of the African continent.
Osagyefo Dr. Nkrumah, YAB, the first president of Ghana, a selfless freedom fighter, a visionary African leader. Obia oye no ho edeto ho ma oman na ne opre nyina no am prisika ma ono ani ne busua if say eda ponchire ni bewu ne ehu ne tenten se osesa Ghana sika de ono nko ane de a nkoko ye anka nyina anka enne anka ehu ne nyampade a isisi bebia ebi ni ho sa na emom eniswade hunu ani abadaye owo no ebesi nne ewo ho ema ebibi man nyinara na won a etwerɛtwerɛ abakwasɛm won a ɛyɛ amanyɔsɛm ɛne mpanyimfo a wo mutena wiase ehu ni Kwame Nkrumah yɛɛyɛ na bebre abɔ na baso ɛma ya kyerɛ no krataa so kra bi sɛ African of the century na kyerɛ sɛ